yesterday for 52 positions for the House of Representatives, Provincial Assembly and local governments are still coming in. As per the latest update, the ruling Nepal Communist Party has so far been leading in the overall vote count, while only one election result for Dharan sub-metropolis is now awaited. Good morning, I'm Amit Pakaril and these are the top stories this hour. Results continue pouring in for the by-elections held for 52 seats including 1 federal and 3 provincial lawmakers, ruling NCP so far victorious in more than half the constituencies. Government preparing to hold the winter session of the federal parliament within a month, ruling NCP undecided on their next House Speaker. International community charged of exhibiting unwarranted interest in Nepal's internal affairs. Experts suggest the government to exhibit vigilance and act accordingly. And the 13th South Asian Games kicks off amid a grand ceremony at capital's Dashrath Stadium. Mega sporting activities back in the nation after a long hiatus. The results of 51 electoral constituencies of the by-elections have been unveiled so far. The by-elections were held on Saturday for 52 positions, including 1 House of Representatives seat, 3 provincial assembly seats and other representatives at local governments. Only one election result for Dharan sub-metropolis is now awaited. According to the latest update, the ruling Nepal Communist Party has prevailed in more than a half of the total electoral constituencies. Nepal Communist Party's Vidya Devi Patrai, wife of late Minister Ravindra Adhikari, won under the House of Representatives position in Kaski 2. She defeated her closest contender, Khem Raj Paudel of Nepali Congress. Under the Provincial Assembly, Krishnalal Fadel of Nepali Congress has emerged victorious in Kantipur 1A. His closest contender was DP Thakar from Nepal Communist Party. The erstwhile CPN-UML's candidate was elected in this constituency in the elections held 2 years ago. Likewise, Nepal Communist Party's Rupa Sahi has been elected as the chairperson of Humla's Kharpunath rural municipality. Among the local level results, the ruling Nepal Communist Party has won in 24 and the main opposition Nepali Congress in 11 constituencies, while 4 candidates of Samajwadi Party and 3 from Rashtriya Janata Party Nepal have been elected, according to the latest update. The government is preparing to hold the winter session of the federal parliament within a month's time. However, the ruling Nepal Communist Party has yet to decide whom to appoint as the next House Speaker. The position has remained vacant for the past 2 months. Both the factions affiliated with the erstwhile CPN-UML and Mao Center have been eyeing for the position of the House Speaker. The dispute in this regard has in fact delayed the appointment. Meanwhile, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has stressed on the need of appointing a qualified person as the House Speaker, citing that there is no point in prolonging the dispute as both the parties have now united. According to sources, the Prime Minister, however, is in favor of appointing one of the former CPN-UML members as the Speaker. Although Prime Minister Oli was ready to hold deliberation within the party over calling the winter session of the Parliament right after the by-elections, along with appointment of the new House Speaker, the issues have turned uncertain due to the Prime Minister's illness. Due to the provision of holding the next Parliament session within 6 months of the conclusion of the preceding session, the winter session should be held within the next month. The ruling Nepal Communist Party thus have been confronted with a challenge to determine the new House Speaker at the earliest and to undergo homework to replace the existing Deputy Speaker due to being from the same party. The international agencies are often found raising their voices regarding Nepal's internal matters. Different international human rights and diplomatic authorities have not only been criticizing the government's activities by issuing joint statements, they have also been putting pressure on the government on many instances. The international human rights organizations like ICJ, Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, among others, issued a joint statement on 26th of November last week alleging the government of not paying serious heed on investigating the cases related to the insurgency period. The organizations also blamed the government of not maintaining transparency in appointing the office bearers at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and Commission for the Investigation of Enforced Disappeared Persons.
उनीहरुको आफ्नो हितका आधारमा आफ्नो राष्ट्रिय हितका आधारमा कति बेला यो ज्यादै महत्त्वपूर्ण रूपमा उजागर हुन्छ उनीहरु उजागर गर्छन् कहिले चाहिँ चुप लागेर बस्छन् भन्ने कुरा त्यो उनीहरूको चाहिने के भनेदेखि द्वैधता हुन्छ नि। अब त्यही साउदी अरेबियामा कत्रो चाहिँ मानवाधिकारको स्थिति छ त्यसबारेमा चाहिँ केही नबोल्ने, अनि हाम्रो यहाँ चाहिँ भइरहेको प्रक्रियालाई पनि चाहिने उचालेर दबाब दिने।
Of Australia, Finland, France, Norway, Switzerland and United States jointly issued a statement earlier this year citing that the instances of violence against women have continued unabated in Nepal and that the culprits have been escaping the punishment. Similarly, a separate report unveiled by the United States has warned that Nepal could be used as a breeding ground by international terrorists. Moreover, a team of the American Parliament handed over a letter at the Nepalese embassy in the U.S. calling for the preservation of the rights of Bhutanese refugees in Nepal and not to force any repatriation agreement with China. All these instances show that the foreign agencies not only exhibit their concern regarding Nepal's internal matters, they also often do not bother making random criticisms and statements. It cannot be ignored that the suggestions and pressure from the foreign organizations are often intended towards fulfilling their own interest, while others could be the opportunity of Nepal itself to do away with its own weaknesses and errors.
यी कुराहरूले हाम्रा द्विपक्षीय सम्बन्धलाई अगाडि बढाउनलाई हित गर्दैनन् भन्ने छ र सरकारको धारणा के भने सरकार लोकतान्त्रिक विधि मान्यता र संविधान अनुसार आफ्ना गतिविधिलाई अगाडि बढाइरहेको छ, त्यसलाई निरन्तर रूपमा अगाडि बढाउँछ। संविधानले दिएका हाम्रो कानुनले दिएका अधिकार उपयोग गरेर सम्पूर्ण नेपालीले पूर्ण रूपमा त्यसको प्रत्याभूति लिइरहेको कुरा र त्यो दिलाउने कुरामा नै सरकारको प्रतिबद्धता छ। यसमा अरूले अनावश्यक ढङ्गले चासो राखिरहनु पर्ने जरुरी पनि छैन, आवश्यकता पनि छैन।
It is deemed unreasonable on the part of the foreign agencies to make public statements or remarks with regard to issues having direct connotation with Nepal's sovereignty, democratic process and constitution. Analysts are of the view that the government should thus be vigilant towards any such international pressures and decide wisely on the issues related to the national importance. In our Public Voice segment, we asked the residents of Udaipur and Khotang districts what problems have they been facing in the absence of Bailey Brits. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
फोक्सिनटारको पुल बन्दाखेरि हामी 7-8 घण्टामा तराईको यात्रा गर्न सक्छौं भनेदेखि यताबाट घुमेर जाँदा 12-13 घण्टा हामीले हिँड्नु परेको छ।
तराईतिर जानलाई, पूर्व धरानतिर जानलाई सबैभन्दा समस्या छ। दैनिक उपभोग्य चीजहरु महँगाईमा किन्न परिरहेछ।
यति दूरीको बाटोलाई गाडी टिकट रसोमा काटेर फेरि उहाँबाट फेरि अर्को काटेर जानुपर्ने अवस्था आएको छ।
पारीबाट वारे आउने चाहिँ हरेक चाहिँ मालवाहक साधनहरु र चाहिँ जनताहरुलाई उत्तिकै चाहिँ शास्ति भइरहेको छ।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what is the reason for the delay in appointing vice chancellors for universities? And options are A, prevalence of political interest, B, not in priority, and C, in search of qualified candidate. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
The 13th edition of the South Asian Games, which is being hosted by Nepal, officially kicked off at the capital's Dashrath Stadium in Tripurasore yesterday evening with a grand opening ceremony. We have a report.
President Vidyadevi Bhandari inaugurated the 13th South Asian Games at the Dashrath Stadium on Sunday evening. Nepal's national anthem was played at the opening ceremony at the Dashrath Stadium, which was gracefully decorated. Nepal's weightlifter Kamal Bahadur Adhikari held the country's flag during the march past of the opening ceremony. Other players and officials of the participating countries also took part in the march past. After the march past, Youth and Sports Minister Jagat Bahadur Vishwakarma, Member Secretary of the National Sports Council Ramesh Silwal and President of South Asian Olympic Committee Jivan Ram Shrestha delivered welcome speeches at the opening ceremony. After that, the Olympic torch, which was carried through the 7 provinces, encircled the Dashrath Stadium. 4-time gold medalist of South Asian Games, Deepak Bista then ignited the Olympic flame at the opening ceremony. After that, the flag of the South Asian Games was hoisted. At the inauguration, former captain of the Nepalese cricket team, Paras Khatka, took the oath on behalf of all the participating players, while international umpire of badminton, Deepak Thapa, took the oath on behalf of the referees. Nepal's traditional customs and cultures were the official theme of the inauguration event. Cultural dances were also performed during the ceremony. Singers Indira Joshi, Kunti Mokhtan, Anand Karki, Satyaraj Acharya and Milana Matya performed a patriotic song at the opening ceremony. There are a total of 26 events at the 13th South Asian Games, in which 317 gold medals, the same number of silver medals and 481 bronze medals are up for grabs.
It's time now for our special segment, Off the Beat.
Chitwan, located at a distance of approximately 100 kilometers southwest from the capital, is regarded as a fertile land for breeding actors. Many actors have come from Chitwan and made it big in the Nepali cine world. However, theatre activities in Chitwan was almost at a standstill. Keeping this scenario in mind, some enthusiasts in Chitwan have started a theatre activity at Narayani Kala Mandir in a bid to preserve dramas based on folk tales. The theatre school is presently staging a drama titled Charandas Chor, a tale of adventure based on the life of a thief. The drama carries the theme of how our life takes unexpected turns as we come across some dramatic events in the course of our life. The drama has been directed by Vikas Joshi and has been well received by the audience in Chitwan. The Kerala Transit, which is the border point between Nepal and China in Mustang district, almost wears a deserted look. Although the Chinese side sees significant business activities, the Nepali side looks barren. The Nepal government has, however, not taken any initiatives to bolster the Kerala Transit, which is deemed significant for Nepal-China trade and an alternative to Tatopani Transit. The Nechung Customs Office and Area Police Office are located at a distance of 12 kilometers south from the Kerala Transit. However, there is a dearth of manpower and other resources to monitor the Kerala Transit. There is the presence of Chinese security officials at the border point, but Nepal Army have stationed themselves 25 kilometers south in Lomanthang. The government had even acquired land in front of Chinese Customs Office at the border. But the construction works to build Nepal's customs office has not moved ahead. The Chinese side of the Kerala Transit has already been connected with the China National Highway from Sigatse, which lies at a distance of 20 kilometers from the transit point. This is Pratik Rimal for Kantipur News Desk.
And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.